The North Cascades region, or the American Alps, has everything to offer. Majestic, heaven-touching mountains, fragile valleys, glassy rivers, and lakes. The American Alps and its wilderness have been drawing hikers and mountaineers not only from the U.S., but from around the world. With over 400 miles of hiking trails, you'll not only enjoy snow-capped mountains, but also subalpine meadows with pristine lakes and rich forests. Visits to this unique corner of the state are unforgettable. The North Cascades region is a place where the tops of the mountains are covered with snow, the slopes spangled with wildflowers, where slender pine trees and fluffy fir trees hide the inhabitants of these forests. Bear, deer, wild rams, otter, wolves, and many varieties of birds. Thanks to devoted rangers and volunteers, these wild places are readily accessible for both tourists and nature lovers. Picturesque routes have been created, new visitor centers built, and everything has been improved in order to make visits to the Cascade Mountains comfortable and safe. People value the beauty of nature in Washington state. In fact, what could be more wonderful than camping near a purely clean lake at the foot of a majestic mountain lighted by the rays of the rising sun? What can be better than a view that opens up after a hard hike that simply takes your breath away? What better sound is there than a mountain stream playing through the cool forest, sneaking under the vaults of low-lying trees, and running through the thick greenery only to be poured out into a majestic waterfall? These kinds of wonders abound in the North Cascades region. The Mount Baker Scenic Byway of State Route 542 is well known for its fabulous views. The road swings along the beautiful North Fork of the Nooksack River, opening before you beautiful views of nature at its best. The road, like a narrow ribbon, meanders through the rows of trees that are especially beautiful in autumn, when every tree seems to be painted with special colors. This road follows the North Fork of the Nooksack River, revealing many beautiful destinations to enjoy. Take a moment and breathe in the fresh scent of the forest. Listen to the sparkling water and sense the spirit of mountain nature. Feel the strength of water that refreshes, nourishes, and satisfies thirst. Enjoy the beauty of small creeks and fancy waterfalls. Take a look at the mystic meadows along the way. Enjoy every inch of this road. The byway wanders up to a scenic vista at an elevation of 5,140 feet, called the Artist Point. Artist Point is one of the most spectacular viewpoints in the North Cascades National Park. It's situated at the very end of the Mount Baker Highway and offers superb views of Mount Baker and Mount Shuksan, along with glassy lakes and green conifers. A variety of trails begin their scenic journeys from Artist Point. Table Mountain Trail is a beautiful 3 miles in outback trail that is considered easy, however, not in winter when the snow covers the slopes. This trail is a must-do hike, where you'll enjoy the slopes of Mount Shuksan and Mount Baker covered with glaciers, but also the Canadian Border Peak, Ruth, Goat, the High Divide, Bloom, Glacier, the Pickets. All of them deserve your attention. Table Mountain itself is a very scenic natural landmark. Its southeast slope drops 2,400 feet in less than 1 horizontal mile and rises by almost a vertical 800-foot cliff. Together with Greenleaf Peak located to the northeast and Hamilton Mountain to the southwest, they form a beautiful group on the Washington stretch of the gorge. The path to the top climbs up the east slope. Rock steps on your way seem beautiful, but they are hard to climb. Pay special attention while on the trail, but don't forget to look up and enjoy the scenery. The views from the flat top of the mountain are beyond description. At the top of the mountains, hikers will enjoy the beautiful, seemingly impossible coexistence of deep snow and tender wildflowers of different colors. 2 seasons, winter and summer, meet in this place and appear to have no problem living together. Take your time and enjoy all the beauty. Mountains that are lined before you, glassy lakes that nestle the foot of the mountains, clouds that dance for you in the sky. You have conquered the mountain, and all this beauty belongs to you. Skyline Divide is a beautiful, well-maintained, and well-marked 9 miles out and back trail that features perfect views of Mount Shuksan, Colshan, High Divide, and many others. There's a beautiful Lummi legend about a handsome young man by the name of Colshan who is married to the beautiful Tahoma and to the kind Shuksan. Shuksan was able to win Colshan's heart that made Tahoma jealous. The girl moved south and felt really lonely. She grew taller and taller because she wanted to keep her beloved Colshan within eyeshot. So goes the legend of this remarkable area that is a real paradise during the spring and summer, with its unending fields of beautiful wildflowers, paths that wander along the beautiful meadows and snow-covered slopes of the mountains. Many hikers prefer spending more time at the top of the mountain. They pitch their tents and enjoy the closeness of the sky, the views, snow, flowers, green conifers, everything. They drink in the beauty of the sky and clouds that move down so low and hide the tops of the mountains and cover hikers with a fog blanket. The feeling that you are being hugged by the clouds is magical. This is one of the most scenic hikes in the region that never disappoints. This hike can be easy if you choose the 2-mile loop, or you can challenge yourself and decide to take on the 8-mile out and back below Table Mountain. Chain Lakes Trail offers stunning opportunities to admire the scenery. Several glassy subalpine lakes, fragile meadows full of wildflowers in spring and summer, snow that still covers the slopes, and scenic views of Mount Baker and Mount Shuksan. The first part of the trail goes down the hill, meandering along a narrow ridge. From time to time during this first part, the trail gets steep. Hikers should be very attentive in spring when the trails can get muddy and slippery. However, spring is the best time for enjoying the views of meadows covered with purple, rose, white, and yellow wildflowers in profusion. Eventually, the path flattens and opens before your eyes majestic scenery. When hikers reach the junction with Ptarmigan Ridge Trail, the path begins to descend to the first lake, Mazama Lake. This is a very little but scenic lake with pristine waters, offering campsites for those who decide to stay and savor the tranquility. Iceberg Lake is the second in the chain that is usually packed with picnickers. At the next junction, hikers have two options: go right and complete the loop, or go to the left and enjoy the beauty of Hayes Lake. Continue your hike climbing to Herman Saddle, and you'll be able to take in fabulous views of Mount Baker and Mount Shuksan. Then continue on the trail that descends to Bagley Lakes, the last jewel in the chain. Beautiful Mazama Lake, the frigid iceberg lake with the snow, can be seen here even in summer. Arbuthnot and Hayes Lake are encircled by giant green conifers, and fabulous lava walls of Table Mountain make for incredible scenery. This rock formation was created millions of years ago as molten lava slowly cooled, creating beautiful layers and unique formations of basalt rock. By the way, this dense crystalline lava covers more than 100,000 square miles of Washington, Oregon, and parts of Idaho. Yakima was founded over 125 years ago and has grown from an agriculturally based town to a diverse metropolitan city. It has a rich history and is justly called the heart of Central Washington. It's not known for sure how Yakima received its name. There are several theories. The first one is based on a legend about an Indian chief's daughter who fled for safety from the family after she broke tribal rules. The girl supposedly settled down along the river Yakima. It is believed that today's city is located near the place where the girl lived. The second theory is that Yakima is the plural form for the native word that means black bear. The Yakima River is a perfect blend of outdoor recreational opportunities, scenic natural wonders, historic cities, farms, orchards, and vineyards. You'll be treated to various topography as you drive through the region, witnessing an extremely productive agricultural region known for apples, hop production, and wine. This region is not only something to see, but also to taste. The Cowiche Canyon is a famous trail outside of Yakima, known as a perfect gem of tree-shrouded streams, sage-dotted slopes, dramatic cliffs, and abundant wildlife. The scenery that surrounds hikers on this route is a prairie with endless lands covered with fragile flowers and sagebrush. The sagebrush is tolerant to high and low temperatures and doesn't need a lot of water, and easily withstands strong winds. Along the way, you'll see many different types of mammals, birds, reptiles, and insects. Sagebrush is one of the main plants in this region of Washington State. In the Cowiche Canyon, you can see the big ponderosa pine trees. Now, the ponderosa pine can grow up to 180 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet in diameter. Ponderosas provide food and shelter for a variety of birds and grow in the Columbia Basin at lower elevations. They rebound well to wildfires and are tolerant to high and low temperatures. Ponderosa pines stand between the forest and grassland, separating the two different terrains. The trail runs between high cliffs along basalt rocks that add sweetness to this hike. The Cowiche Canyon Trail is perfect for families with kids. It's easily accessible and scenic at the same time. Thanks to rangers and volunteers who devote their lives, effort, strength, and much more, these territories have become accessible for hikers. Every trail, every stair, every handrail has been built by these public servants. We encourage hikers to follow the rules that every park and wilderness has. This 22-mile road boasts scenic views all year round. The Canyon Road is a windy road that follows the Yakima River between high desert hills covered in sagebrush. The views of the basalt cliffs that rise above the river are dramatic. This combination of water, hills, and blue sky will make your trip to this region unforgettable. The Snoqualmie region is a picturesque area around the mountain town of Snoqualmie. It's located around 40 minutes east of Seattle. The Snoqualmie region is a land of many rivers, lakes, streams, and waterfalls, as well as the gorgeous alpine scenery of the Cascade Mountains. It's also known for its wilderness and numerous trails that lure hikers and backpackers. In December 2014, the U.S. government designated the upper part of the Middle Fork Snoqualmie and the entire Pratt River as wild and scenic rivers. This designation is the strong protection needed to help preserve the unique ecology, wildlife, and fish habitats of the rivers. The Middle Fork Snoqualmie River Basin is located less than an hour from downtown Seattle and is considered to be one of the last wild places in King County. Here you'll enjoy old-growth forests, alpine lakes, glassy rivers, and native trout runs. Accessible to a population of over 3 million people, this area is treasured by hikers, mountain bikers, fishermen, and whitewater enthusiasts. The Snoqualmie region has very diverse plant life. Douglas fir, western hemlock, western red cedar, mountain berries, stream meadows, and underbrush can be found here. Some of the largest Douglas fir and western red cedar trees in Washington state are found in the Alpine Lakes wilderness. The eastern part of this territory is represented by ponderosa pine, white bark pine, Engelmann spruce, alpine larch, and grasslands. The territory of the region is full of wildlife. Such large animals as black bear, elk, white-tailed deer, mule deer, cougar, and coyote can be found throughout the Snoqualmie region. Small mammals such as bobcat, beaver, otter, badger, wolverine, mink, and weasel are also common for this area. It's worth noting that grizzly bears and wolves can also be found here, but their populations are small. Numerous fish species of salmon and trout, including native cutthroat trout, are found in alpine lakes, rivers, and streams in the area. This trail is located just outside of Cougar Mountain Regional Wildland Park. It's a 2.5-mile out and back trail that is considered a popular urban destination because of its close proximity to downtown Bellevue. On the trail, while you enjoy the thick forest and the path that runs along the creek, keep your eyes open for historic artifacts and different relics from the mining industry. Coal Creek got its name because of the coal mining industry that was prominent here in the 19th century. The trail allows you to see defunct coal mining equipment and even in spots, coal sitting on the ground. Cold Creek begins on Cougar Mountain at an elevation of 1,400 feet above sea level and runs for about 7 miles to the northwest, emptying into Lake Washington at Newport Shores. Poo Poo Point Trail is a pleasant hike and perfect for all skill levels. It's located close to Seattle and has fabulous and rewarding views at the end of the hike. You have 2 options. You can hike this trail or, for the less ambitious, drive to the top. Poo Poo Point lies on the slope of West Tiger Mountain and is one of the prime spots in the region for hang gliding and paragliding. This point offers great views of the northwest across Issaquah and Lake Sammamish, Squak and Cougar Mountains, and to the west a little bit of Seattle's taller buildings. It's a great place to enjoy both nature and people's desire to fly and conquer the wind and sky. Several thousand years ago, when the glaciers receded, they left a fertile plain near Snoqualmie Falls. When Native Americans arrived, they found a bounty of edible bulbs, roots, and berries on the prairie. Deer and mountain goat were also plentiful. Even though there were no salmon in the upper Snoqualmie River, it became a meeting place as trade increased among Native American tribes. The Snoqualmie tribe established their home at the base of Mount Si. They also established several villages at Fall City and Tolt, now known as Carnation. Snoqualmie is a Salish word meaning moon. Snoqualmie Falls was a spiritual place to the Native Americans, and it gave birth to many legends. One tells of Spiao, the beaver, who climbed into the sky to bring trees and fire down to earth. The Native Americans who roamed the valley were also known as people of the moon. Franklin Falls Trail starts at Denny Creek Road on the west side of Denny Creek at an elevation of 2,300 feet. This 2-mile out-and-back trail runs near and above Denny Creek through the beautiful conifer forest. There are really old, even ancient trees along this path. Follow the narrow path as it wanders through the forest along the bank of the rushing water. This is the route that offers solitude and enters deep into the wilderness. Hikers that pay attention to the smallest details will surely spot the remains of an old wagon road left over by settlers and fur traders. Those who come here to enjoy the view will have plenty to see. The path along the creek gives the opportunity to be fascinated by the running water that hurries down the hill, making all the rocks on its way smooth and silky. The same way the water makes the stones perfectly smooth, nature soothes us, giving us strength, the desire to live, to create, to enjoy. When we spend more and more time in these natural settings, we begin to realize that nature is all we need to heal, feel calm, and enjoy confidence. The path takes hikers to the first of 3 major waterfalls on the South Fork Snoqualmie River. After swinging along the bank of the river, the trail suddenly descends, offering a view of the waterfall. The falls are famous because they're situated between the lanes of Interstate 90. The total drop of the falls is 135 feet, but from the trail, hikers enjoy only the largest 70-foot-high drop. The Granite Mountain Trail is a beautiful but steep path through the Alpine Lakes wilderness. This trail reaches an elevation of 3,800 feet at the summit of Granite Mountain. This is the perfect trail to feel closer to the sky, while being surrounded by numerous summits. This 8 miles out and back trail takes you from the Pratt Lake trailhead into the deep forest, where you'll be surrounded by Pacific silver fir, cedar, sword fern, and hemlock. This is one of the most pleasant parts of the route when you hike through the cool forest that provides refreshing shade on a sunny day. From time to time, the trees split, opening beautiful views and giving you the opportunity to imagine what you will see at the end. The first part of the trail is quite pleasant, but the second is very steep. It rises steeply for almost the entire length until the end of the trail, but the views at the top are rewarding. There are a number of remarkable vistas that offer breathtaking views of the surrounding topography. Huckleberries and wildflowers cover the slopes in summer. The trail continues climbing north, leaving the lookout on your left. Follow the narrow and rocky trail that will take you to the top of the summit. The final part is difficult, but the views are incredible. At the end of the trail, hikers realize that Granite Mountain has an appropriate name. It reminds you of a pile of broken plates. Rocks on this trail can be observed everywhere. From the summit, 4 high volcanoes perfectly frame the scenery. Have a seat on one of the rocks and enjoy the views of Clayton Park, Blue Crystal Lake, Tooth, and Mount Rainier. The mountains in front of your eyes seem to be covered with a very warm woolen blanket, and the lakes under your feet as big mirrors reflecting the mountains, the clouds, and the sky on their glassy surface. Enjoy the remarkable sunset when the sky becomes a canvas of endless covers over the rows of gorgeous mountains. Granite Mountain is a perfect hike into the classic wilderness. It's the hallmark of this region. The Rattlesnake Ledge Trail is a 4-mile out and back trail that takes hikers along a well-maintained path where you'll enjoy the forest and great views of the Cedar River, Mount Si, Mount Washington, Rattlesnake Lake, and Chester Morse Lake. This is a very popular summer hike, taking only 30 minutes to drive here from downtown Bellevue. The lake that is situated below is a popular summer destination for many families. No motored boats or fishing is allowed on the lake, making it the perfect destination for kayaking and swimming.